Hello, everybody. I am so happy to see you here. I apologize for the delay in this. There are some technical issues that had this delayed. So I wanted to quickly introduce myself. Hi, I'm Marianne McCarley. I'm with the College of Liberal Arts Career Services, and I'm happy to come here today to present to you the personal branding and how do you brand yourself, as well as how do you get started on your e-portfolio. So thank you again for joining us. If you are watching a recorded version, I'm going to put all my information on here for you to be able to send in, email me questions. If you'd like to set up an appointment on Handshake to discuss this further, I am here to help you. So I'm going to share with you some notes as I talk. But again, please, if you have any questions, I have my Facebook up as well for the CLA Career Services page. So please just type in a question there and I can ask you as we go. So let's get started on this presentation. And again, thank you so much for your patience today. Okay, so I'm going to share this screen. And again, this is called Branding You. Here's my contact information. So if you do need anything, you can email me here at mccarley@auburn.edu. Starting on June 29th, I'll be back in the office where all of the members of Career Services will be available either in Tichenor 305 or 308 from June 29th until the August 8th, and then we'll be back then. So here's my information. Also, again, here's who's going to be in the office when we're back on campus. Those are my dates. There's Ms. Brittany Kennedy's and Ms. Jennifer Harriet's right there. And again, all appointments are available on Handshake. I want to tell you quickly about a couple of the events that we have coming up. One is going to be on Monday. It's the Art and Design Virtual Career Panel, and we're going to have some really incredible speakers. Now, those are the people to ask if you have specific questions about your portfolio, branding your portfolio. I guarantee you that they've not only seen probably thousands of portfolios, but they all have their own portfolio as well, so they can share their tips with you on how they've created theirs. And I have no doubt that they have some really professional, beautiful portfolios, all of them. We have Alex McClelland, who is an art director with the top 2020 Advertising Agency of the Year from Wieden & Kennedy. We have Chris Adams from Superconductor. He's the Chief Creative Officer for the production company that also does branded content, augmented reality, all kinds of incredible visual elements. We have Sam Lim. She's a user designer for Google. We are really lucky to have her. We also have Jeff Bybee, the head of production and main recruiter for Hue and Cry, which is an award-winning animated design company. And we have one of our own Auburn grads, Spencer Huddleston, who is a principal lead designer at Spotify. So we're really, really thrilled to have these wonderful panelists virtually. You can register here at the aub.ie/art and design. So that'll take you directly. Now we're limited to the first 100 students who sign up. So hopefully you can go ahead and do that soon. And this is a collaboration between us and the College of Liberal Arts and the College of Architecture, Design, and Construction. So be sure to tune in for that. Also, if you are here for the, to have it count for the internship scholarship, well, it does in fact count for that. If you would like more information on the internship scholarship, here's the information here. You can go to the aub.ie/internship scholarship here as well. So we can, and I'm getting a note here. Let me see here. Okay, so just got a message that the Facebook may or may not have just cut out. So if you're watching this live on Facebook, I apologize. Facebook is not coordinated, is not helping us right now. And so if you will just sit tight, we're going to make sure that you receive the recorded version of this so that you can continue on for the branding piece as well as the e-portfolio piece. All right, so the internship scholarships, here's that information. We have the summer semester is in full scale right now, but I'll tell you that for the fall semester internships, we're probably going to see a good number of people applying for that scholarship since so many internships were deferred to the fall, or because of the pandemic, they have changed on to a later time. So the applications due for that is August 3rd. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. Also, one quick thing is if you'd like to connect with people, if you'd like to show your portfolio, discuss your branding, discuss your networking opportunities, there's no better place than seeking mentorship. And we have a wonderful platform for you to get that mentorship, and that's through Alumni Fire. It's new. We're still growing the mentors and the alumni, the employers who are joining up in. So students, you could be, in the first grouping to be able to really seek out some incredible mentors. We already have people from all over the country. We have people that work for Fandango, that work for CNN as journalists, that work for CMT. We have a NASA lawyer. We have everything in between. So make sure to sign up here. And that is the link there for the auburncla.alumnifire.com. Okay, so going on to the branding part. So when you see these logos, when you see these, what do you think of when you see these brands? All right. So if you want to think about, there's the Nike logo, we have the Chick-fil-A logo, Apple, New York Times, Bentley. In your mind, I'm sure that they're representing certain traits, certain values, right? Certain strengths, certain things that you're thinking, okay, I can align with that brand, or that brand maybe does not align with me. But just coming to mind thinking about the Nike logo, you think about hard work, you think about, of course, they're just do it. But you also think maybe, about some of the things happening in the world, and where do their values align? What do they stand for? Right. So I want you to think about that. The New York Times, right? It's always been about integrity. It's been about telling the truth. It represents uncovering some, incredible stories that have really changed the world. Chick-fil-A, you could think about quality. Bentley, you can think about, the financial appeal. You can think about the class of it. You can think about so many different things. And then Apple, of course, creativity. So that's getting us in the mindset of, what do these brands stand for? Because then that makes sense with, what do you stand for? What is your brand, right? Because at the end of the day, your degree is a piece of paper. All that other stuff is what makes you you and makes you the differentiator, right? Because in the landscape of looking for your jumpstart into your career, possibly looking into an internship, you've got skills, experience, networking. All of this stuff makes you marketable. All of this fits within your theme or your brand. All right. So I want you to think about, what is it about your brand? What's your differentiator? Why are you unique in this large field, right, of applicants and people that are seeking these internships or entry-level jobs? What is it about you that's unique? I'll tell you that in asking students that, one great way to start is to think about a personal brand statement. All right. So it kind of forces you to think about, what are your unique skills? Where do your values align? right? What are your values? Do your values and your unique strengths, are you thinking about that and applying it to your future career or your next opportunity, right? So your brand statement should summarize what you stand, what makes you stand out in a focused, targeted way, right? It makes you think about what is your differentiator over the next person, over the next person. So think about that. Think about what has you different, and then can you sum it up? Can you talk about yourself in a really clear, concise, memorable, and sincere way? I'll say I work with career services, and the reason that I love my job, I love what I do, I'm passionate about helping students. I would say that I'm hardworking, and that last year I met with over 80 employers talking about our students. I was able to bring 38 employers to campus in the fall semester. All of that it aligns with my values of helping students, helping you to get that dream career, get that internship that you want. As far as my strengths, I would say that does entail hard work. I have numbers to back it. I have the number of employers that I've met with over 200 students to help to give guidance for careers. All of that, they're tangible numbers, but it also works to inform the hard work ethic, the ability to be able to communicate both to employers and alumni, as well as to students, to try to convey what it is that how they can prepare for those careers or those internships. All right, so that just kind of gives you a brief idea of what makes that statement. Now, here's the thing: a lot of students have come to me this past couple of years and said, well, I know where my strengths are. I'm a people person, right? I'm a good person with people. I'm a people person, or you know what? I work hard. I'm a hard worker, which is all fantastic strengths and fantastic skills. But what we really need to do is be able to, again, come back to that personal statement of, a targeted message that shows what you've done. It gives maybe some credible information to back what you're saying. Like the saying is, show me, don't tell me. You can tell me you're a people person, but, were you able to do a public speaking event where you spoke with over 200 parents because you're a recruiter for Auburn and you just spoke with Camp War Eagle, so, or, are you hardworking? What do you have to prove that? What do you have to show that you're hardworking? Do you have numbers? Do you have a quantitative numbers, or do you have qualitative? Do you have a story? Do you have a quick summation that can explain, the depth of your communication with people, or the depth of, what your hard work has meant for your summer job? So one kind of easier way to think about it is you consider the core competencies. And this is from NACE. And NACE is a really fantastic resource for you. NACE is the National Association of Colleges and Employers. And again, it's, I believe, nace.org, and it's a fantastic site where you can go and look up what kinds of skills are employers looking for. So here are the top ones. I'm going to quickly go through it here, and then I'm going to go through it individually so that we can kind of dig deeper into what does that mean. Because as you're thinking about your brand, you're thinking about your themes, make sure to couch it in, give it context to what employers want, if that makes sense. So to give what your values are context for employers, consider the soft skills, consider those things that employers are looking for, because it's going to make your pitch, your brand statement, your theme, or your elevator pitch your e-portfolio, all of those things that represent you and what you are for that employer. It can all be given context and be easy for employers to understand and break down if you think about it within these skills. All right. So first of all, we're going to look at critical thinking and problem solving. That is one of the most sought after skills that employers have. Now, we'll go through this more but in a little bit. Now, here's the thing. All of you, whether you appreciate this or not, you've all done critical thinking. You've all done, problem solving in your job. And that's if you work, at McDonald's and you're dealing with a lot of clients, a lot of customers that come in, something breaks down. Well, you're doing some problem solving there. You're having to do some critical thinking and how to best maintain a professional, a professional facade when things may be breaking down or whatever that is. So critical thinking and problem solving, if you start to think about that and how you're using that in your volunteer work, your summer job, your regular interactions when you're doing group projects, all of that stuff can help with that. Oral, written, verbal communication. That's also a really big one. We have teamwork and collaboration, digital technology, leadership, work ethic. There's that hard work ethic and professionalism, career management, and the global or intercultural fluency. Depending on the career that you choose, some of those are going to ring more important than others. So as you go through and you look for those dream jobs or internships and you start doing research, think about how does it break down? What do they keep saying? Are you seeing a lot about group work? Are you seeing a lot about working well with a team? And you're seeing this throughout the job description or the internship. Well, you know what then? Maybe that's something that you have included with your branding, with your personal work ethic. Maybe you work really well with teams, or maybe you don't. But you need to be cognizant that if you're going for a job and they're looking for teamwork, people to work well with teams, you may want to mention that if that fits within your strengths or your skill set, right? Okay. So now that we're just going to break it down into a little bit more individual stuff. So first of all, again, critical thinking and problem solving, right? It's when you interpret information and then you can help to summarize it. You can give back this information. Let's say you're working on a group project and they've given you a specific article to read to present to the class, right? That's critical thinking right there. Or again, I mentioned that if something breaks down at your work, or some of you, let's say, are servers and servers at restaurants, and you're working on a football game Saturday, and how busy and chaotic that can be. Well, how do you work with that? How do you work under pressure? How do you problem solve these little issues that come up throughout the day, or the sheer number or the volume of customers that you have? All of this stuff and the way you think about these overcoming these obstacles in your regular day, that's how you think about critical thinking and problem solving. All right. So again, the verbal or written communication, that's a really important one there. So how do you effectively communicate information? Do you do public speaking? How comfortable are you with it? Are you, better with writing out things? All of this stuff that we're talking about could be included in your e-portfolio when you're thinking about what artifacts to include. What items are you going to include that are going to help inform your brand or your strengths, right? Can you write a reflection, synthesizing information, or maybe your experiences with your favorite classes, or maybe your time at Auburn, right? All of this stuff can be included in your e-portfolio, but it also showcases your strengths with, the written word as well as public speaking. So there's that. Teamwork and collaboration, again, it's another big one, especially for entry-level positions where there's high expectations for for you for entry-level positions to work well in teams and groups, especially with internship opportunities where they will typically put you in, with teams to see how you're working well together, who rises to the top and does the work at hand, who becomes a natural leader within the group, how do you manage conflict, if there's somebody in the group that is, maybe not working as hard as you. How do you work with them? How do you negotiate those terms? All of that stuff is leading to working really well with a team. Digital technology, it's really interesting because digital technology is one of those competencies where 9 times out of 10 students are well versed in digital technology, and in fact it shows that you're adaptable to new and emerging technologies. So here's the thing, let's say that you're looking for working at a company where they want you to work with a specific software. While you may not have worked with that specific software, you understand the root of how to work with things. The buttons may be different, right? The buttons may be different, but the thought processes or the way that you would work around the software may be very similar. Maybe it's a different cloud system. Maybe it's a different, it's a Zoom webinar versus Microsoft Teams webinar versus Google Teams. Like if you worked with one, you can still have a basic idea of how to work the other ones. It's just a few of the buttons are changed or a few other things are different. But by and large, students are prepared and well-versed in digital technology, and employers have high expectations that students are going to leave with that. Auburn University, we're quite lucky in that we were one of the first in the SEC to have Adobe Creative Suite available for every student. So if you're interested in learning more about Photoshop or Premiere Pro, Audition, there's so many incredible tools in that toolkit for you to really become digitally proficient. I strongly recommend it. It's another great thing to add to your resume or to your e-portfolio, but it's also good when you're talking about your digital proficiencies and where your strengths may lay, because maybe you are ahead of even the curve with what these employers are expecting. Okay, leadership. Again, leadership, it's fantastic, and I hear this a lot with students that they're great leaders, and that's amazing. How have you shown that leadership? Have you joined, for instance, freshman year, sophomore year, did you join an organization where your junior year and senior year, you're really taking on leadership roles? You're taking on, and even if it's not the president of an organization, are you taking on your portion of a project? For instance, I know that the dance marathon is a really big event within Auburn. Well, not everyone is going to be the lead person over all of it, but you may be in charge of the social media or a particular, maybe Instagram, for that particular event. So you're showing that you can work independently, that you've used your interpersonal skills to be able to navigate it and work well with others. You've leveraged your skills, your strengths, to be able to, understand what the main goal is. And then, hopefully you've succeeded in really showing that you can organize, prioritize, delegate work if need be, and you can, you can own it. You can own that project, and that's truly what a leader is. Professionalism and work ethic. And again, I hear a lot from students, hard work. I am a hard worker. Well, give me more about that. Tell me more about what kind of impact that you've made at work. A common question with interviews is, what mistakes did you make, or what did you do when something went wrong? right? That's a big question, because employers want to know, how do you handle things when things don't go well, right? How do you handle mistakes that are made either by you or someone on the team that you're working with, right? So you're thinking about, how do you demonstrate professionalism in the face of you know of there being whatever issues that come up? Do you act responsibly, right? Do you think about the greater team or your employer at the end of the day? All of that stuff with accountability, effective work habits, all of that shows your professionalism, as well as how do you work? How do you work with a team? How do you work as a leader? Do you learn from your mistakes? Do you keep making the same mistakes? How have you learned from it? All right. Have you improved yourself? So that's all great stuff that employers want. Okay, so career management. That's something that's a little bit more typically for when you're within the job. It's how do you navigate and explore job options? What do you do to help to better yourself, to better your experience, to the work environment? What are you bringing to the table to help as far as networking within a company to help to better yourself, navigating the political landscape that is many corporations it's a skill, and it can be tough. So I would say to look at career management, really consider that, especially within the first year, after the first year that you're working for a company and you're looking to maybe navigate it into a better position, or a position in a field that may be of more interest to you. How do you navigate that? So last but not least is global and intercultural fluency. And again, this shows that you can work well with diverse cultures, races, ages, genders, sexual orientations, and religions. How do you work well with people who are not you, not like you? And that's a really important thing. And again, that's a competency that is growing in nature. It's growing in the importance that employers put into its value. So and you hear a lot about diversity and inclusiveness, and that is a really, really important competency. We're going to see that growing more in the next few years, that understanding of individual differences. People may have different political ideologies than you, or, they're just different than people than you've experienced. Maybe they're from different areas of the country or the world. How do you work well with them, and how can you show that? So I'll just say this, Auburn University has some incredible organizations. If you really seek out working or volunteering with people that are different than you, then it will pay back tenfold, not only in your personal gratification, making new friends, understanding different perspectives, but it's also really great on your resume and your own personal brand, the fact that you've maybe done some study abroad. I know students, a lot of them have visited Italy or Spain. What was that experience like? What was that like working, or going to school and in an area where they speak a different language? How did you navigate that? All of that stuff is very important, and it is great on your resume, and it's a great thing to talk about. So again, with ePortfolio, once you have your brand, excuse me, your theme, then this information that we've talked about, your values, your strengths, where your brand, like what is your brand, your personal statement, right? All of that, the theme of you needs to be shown in an ePortfolio. There's some really great free sites. You could use Wix, you can use Weebly, there's WordPress. So there's different places that you can go to start to build that ePortfolio online. And I'm gonna, in 1 second, I'm gonna show you the Miller Writing Center at Auburn, which is a really fantastic reference. It's a resource for you to go to get further help. But just keep this in mind. These are the three important pieces that make up an ePortfolio. pick artifacts that support your brand. Okay, if you're an artist and you're creative and you have, you know, your artwork that would show your creative side, then do that. Pick that. Do you have papers that you've written on intercultural fluency or your time studying abroad? You know, then, you know, pick that. Choose, select those pieces though that best to inform your brand and can give some real, you know, real meat to it, some real context to this brand of yours. Also write reflections that echo this. If you want to reflect on your time in Italy studying, you know, abroad, you know, do that in a way that it really, again, it re-emphasizes your brand and what's important to you, where your values stand. And then design your page to show this. If you're looking to go into more of a corporate field, then your e-portfolio will probably be a little bit more conservative in tone, conservative in colors. If you're looking to go into a more creative field, then, you know, I would say that you can show that. You could show that personality, right? You can show that you have, you know, a creative side. You know, I showed the picture earlier from our wonderful panelists that are talking on Monday. And I don't know if you noticed in the picture with our Auburn alum that works at Spotify, but he's wearing a sequined jacket. He's got the long hair and he's got big gold earrings. He's definitely let his creative side show, and, you know, it fits within the culture of Spotify. So wonderful for him. And again, I cannot wait to see him talk on Monday. By the way, that panel will be also recorded and available for you if you would like to see that. Okay, so here's the Resource Miller Writing Center right here, Office of University Writing. I would strongly recommend going there. Also, you can connect with us online. There is our contact information, our Instagram. It shows all the current events. We have our blog there that also shows some of the past job descriptions and jobs and internships that we've highlighted. So again, thank you so much for your time and for you know, staying tuned in. Here's my contact information. You can always make an appointment on Handshake, or you could, you know, you can send me an email if you have any questions with that or questions directly. So thank you again for your time. I was happy to be able to go through this with you, and I hope to see you all soon. Thank you.